So I'm Eric Schwarz, the co-founder and CEO of Citizen Schools, and for 14 years we've been partnering with middle schools now in 20 cities across the country to expand the learning day and fill up that now 10-hour day instead of a 6-hour day with all sorts of really exciting learning adventures for kids, the core of which are apprenticeships, where we recruit citizen teachers from Bank of America, architects, web designers, engineers from Google who come in and do what they do with kids. As we've looked to grow, we've come up against what I think many of my peers in the social entrepreneurship world feel to be a dysfunctional funding environment, a system of capital markets in the nonprofit world that doesn't do as good a job of finding strength and growing it as I think our for-profit systems do. In the for-profit world, if you look at the 30 biggest companies in the country, more than half of them started in the last 35 years. In the nonprofit world, I think one of the 30 largest organizations started in the last generation. So we need to find, I think, a better way as a country to identify things that are working, quite well at a relatively small scale and find ways to scale them. I think in doing that, for us, the key has been to find great philanthropic partners who want to work together to both align their capital behind a business plan that is looking to make big change. And so Kerry and Kelly, the K twins here, have been at the center with Bank of America and Etta McCulloch Clark Foundation of working with us to bring in a total of 15 investors who 2 years ago made a commitment of a little more than $30 million of capital over a 5 to 6 year period to bring Citizen Schools from a $10 million a year organization operating in 8 to 10 cities to a couple of years from now we expect to be a $30 million a year organization operating in 25 to 30 cities and really driving big policy change for the country.
For the Clark Foundation, years ago, we undertook a strategy where we agreed that it was important to focus our resources on those things that work against a growing and established body of evidence to solve pressing problems for the most disadvantaged youth in this country today. In some cases, it appears that, we found some pretty amazing groups to work with who are growing a body of evidence that they can deliver on this work and that are pushing towards the gold standard. So they're pushing themselves towards higher and higher levels of effectiveness. They're starting to translate that into policy shift. They're starting to be able to take that learning and that progress and infiltrate the minds of policymakers in this country, show a better way, and take another run at addressing, many of these acute problems that are persistent and that I think we as a nation want to solve.
When we first decided to become involved or were exploring the involvement, there was a thought of like being lost in the crowd. We're going to put X amount of dollars in. We certainly are not the biggest funder. What are we going to get back to our brand? And I think at the end of the day, we all decided it's better to, and we can have more impact working collaboratively with other funders. And the whole concept of bringing high-performing nonprofits to scale is something we've been grappling with because Bank of America, for the most part, our funding is general operating, unrestricted operating support that we bring to nonprofits because our value is how we fund, not what we fund. I mean, what we fund is important, but we believe that we want to infuse strength in the nonprofit sector and in high-performing nonprofits in particular. If you really want to create change and help be a catalyst in your community, that you can lose yourself and still be a winner.